Charles Hickson, a seasoned shipyard worker, carried the weight of the world on his shoulders. Calvin Parker, young and eager, was just starting his journey. Bound by their shared profession, they were unlikely friends thrown together by circumstance. Little did they know that their names would forever be etched in the annals of history, linked by an event so bizarre, so terrifying, it would challenge everything they thought they knew about reality. Their ordinary lives were about to take an extraordinary turn. October 11th, 1973, started like any other day. The afternoon sun cast long shadows as Hickson and Parker clocked out of their shift. Eager for some after-work relaxation, they decided to try their luck at fishing. The familiar Pascagoula River, a source of solace and livelihood, beckoned them. They piled their gear into Hickson's pickup truck, unaware that they were driving towards a destiny far stranger than anything they could have imagined. They arrived at their usual fishing spot. Hickson grabbed his tackle box, while Parker unloaded the folding chairs from the truck bed. Hickson noticed Parker seemed agitated, his gaze darting nervously around the riverbank. "Something feels off," Parker mumbled, his voice barely a whisper. Hickson dismissed it as nerves, but a prickle of unease ran down his spine. Suddenly, a brilliant blue light pierced the darkness behind them, illuminating the trees with an ethereal glow. Startled, Hickson and Parker spun around, their hearts pounding in their chests. Hovering silently above the ground was an oval-shaped object about the size of a car, emitting a low humming sound. The blue light intensified, bathing the riverbank in an otherworldly radiance. Terror gripped them as the object glided silently towards them, its smooth metallic surface reflecting the blue light like a distorted mirror. Paralyzed by fear, Hickson and Parker could only watch in horror as a door slid open on the side of the craft. 3 figures emerged, their bodies slender and strangely proportioned, their skin a pale grayish white. They floated effortlessly towards the terrified men, their movements fluid and silent. Hickson tried to speak, to cry out, but terror choked his voice. Parker, his eyes wide with terror, fainted dead away, collapsing onto the riverbank. As the strange beings drew closer, Hickson felt a wave of cold, numbing fear wash over him, a fear unlike anything he had ever experienced. Hickson watched in numb horror as the 3 beings surrounded Parker's limp form. They didn't seem to notice him, their attention focused solely on his unconscious companion. One of the beings extended a long, slender arm, its hand ending in 3 delicate-looking fingers. The hand hovered over Parker's chest, and Hickson felt a surge of primal fear, a fear for his friend's life. He wanted to scream, to fight back, but his body refused to obey. He was rooted to the spot, a prisoner in his own terror. Then, with a gentle, floating motion, they lifted Parker from the ground. He drifted towards the open door of the craft, his body seeming to move through the air with impossible grace. Hickson couldn't tear his gaze away, his mind struggling to process the impossible scene unfolding before him. The interior of the craft was bathed in a soft, pulsating light, the source of which he couldn't pinpoint. Strange symbols, glowing faintly, adorned the smooth, metallic walls. It was a place that defied logic, a place where the laws of physics seemed to bend and twist. For a moment, he felt a strange sense of calm descend over him, a feeling of detachment from the terror that had gripped him only moments before. He watched as Parker was gently placed on a platform, his body surrounded by a faint, bluish glow. 2 of the beings turned their attention to Parker, their movements fluid and graceful, like dancers in some silent alien ballet. They moved around him, their large black eyes seemingly examining his every detail. Hickson couldn't help but notice their strange, almost delicate features. Their skin, while pale and grayish white, seemed to shimmer in the pulsating light. Their heads were elongated, with no discernible ears or noses, only those large, almond-shaped eyes that seemed to see right through him. He felt a strange mix of terror and fascination, his mind rebelling against the impossible reality before him. The 3rd being turned towards Hickson, and he felt a jolt of fear shoot through him. It approached him slowly, its gaze unwavering. He wanted to run, to hide, but his legs felt like lead. The being stopped in front of him, so close he could feel a strange warmth emanating from its body. It raised its hand, its 3 long fingers extending towards him. Hickson instinctively flinched back, but the being made no move to touch him. Instead, it held its hand up, palm open, as if offering him something. Hickson stared at the hand, his mind racing. What did it want? What was it trying to communicate? Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the encounter was over. The being lowered its hand and turned back towards Parker. Hickson watched in stunned silence as the 3 beings, with their strange, fluid movements, glided back towards the open door of the craft. They picked up Parker once again, his body still limp and lifeless, and carried him back outside. Hickson followed, his legs finally obeying his commands. He watched as they placed Parker back on the riverbank, the blue light from the craft casting long, eerie shadows across the water. Then, with a faint humming sound, the craft rose silently into the air and disappeared into the night sky, leaving behind only a faint glow and a sense of utter disbelief. The blue light faded, leaving Hickson standing alone on the riverbank, the silence deafening in the aftermath of the encounter. The world around him felt alien, unfamiliar. The familiar scent of salt marsh and river water seemed sharper, more intense. His senses, heightened by adrenaline and terror, struggled to make sense of the impossible. His gaze darted from the spot where the craft had hovered to the limp form of his friend lying on the ground. The world as he knew it had been shattered, broken into a million pieces by an experience that defied all logic and reason. Hickson stumbled towards Parker, his mind a whirlwind of confusion and fear. He knelt beside his friend, his hand trembling as he reached out to check for a pulse. Relief washed over him as he felt the faint beat of Parker's heart beneath his fingers. He shook Parker gently, his voice hoarse as he called out his friend's name. "Calvin! Calvin, wake up! It's Charlie!" Parker moaned softly, his eyes fluttering open. Confusion clouded his features as he looked up at Hickson, his gaze disoriented. "Charlie, what happened?" he stammered, his voice weak. Hickson helped Parker to his feet, his arms supporting his friend's trembling body. He didn't know where to go, who to turn to. His mind raced, trying to make sense of the impossible. Should they go to the police? Would anyone believe them? Or would they be labeled as crazy, their story dismissed as a drunken hallucination? He looked down at Parker, his friend's face pale and drawn in the moonlight. Parker, still shaken and disoriented, kept repeating the same phrase over and over again, like a mantra against the terror that threatened to consume him. "They took me. They took me." Hickson knew they couldn't stay here, not with the memory of the encounter still so fresh, so terrifyingly real. He guided Parker towards his pickup truck, his hand shaking as he fumbled with the keys. They needed to get help, to talk to someone who would believe them, someone who could explain the unexplainable. As they drove away from the riverbank, the headlights of the truck cutting through the darkness, Hickson couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone, that unseen eyes were watching them, following their every move. The weight of their experience, the burden of the unbelievable, pressed down on them, threatening to crush them beneath its impossible weight. He knew their lives would never be the same. They had looked into the abyss, and the abyss had looked back. The phone on Sheriff Fred Diamond's desk buzzed to life, shattering the stillness of the night. Glancing at his watch, he saw it was well past midnight. Calls at this hour rarely brought good news. A gruff voice on the other end of the line identified itself as Charles Hickson. He spoke in a rushed, panicked tone, his words tumbling over each other. He claimed he and his friend Calvin Parker had seen something strange, something unbelievable, something they couldn't explain. Sheriff Diamond listened patiently, his brow furrowed as Hickson's story unfolded. He'd heard his share of tall tales in his years as sheriff, but there was something in Hickson's voice, a raw terror that gave him pause. Intrigued but skeptical, Sheriff Diamond agreed to meet Hickson and Parker at the police station. He watched as the 2 men walked into the station, their faces drawn and pale under the fluorescent lights. Hickson, a burly man with calloused hands, looked visibly shaken. Parker, younger and slighter, seemed close to breaking down. his eyes darting nervously around the room. As they recounted their story, Sheriff Diamond listened intently, his gaze shifting between the two men, searching for any sign of deception. Their account was bizarre, outlandish even. Men working in the shipyard weren't prone to flights of fancy, but their terror seemed genuine, their story told with a consistency that was hard to dismiss. Despite his reservations, Sheriff Diamond knew he couldn't ignore the men's claims. He dispatched officers to the riverbank where the alleged encounter had taken place. The officers found nothing unusual, no physical evidence to support Hickson and Parker's story. The river flowed silently, the only sound the distant chirping of crickets. Back at the station, Sheriff Diamond arranged for Hickson and Parker to be interviewed separately. He wanted to see if their stories aligned, if there were any inconsistencies that might point to a hoax. To his surprise, their accounts remained consistent, their details aligning even under the pressure of interrogation. Days turned into weeks, and the investigation dragged on, yielding more questions than answers. The physical evidence was non-existent, and the lack of witnesses made the case even more perplexing. Some whispered that Hickson and Parker had imagined the whole thing, a shared delusion fueled by stress or something more potent. Others, however, pointed to the men's consistent accounts and their obvious terror as proof that something extraordinary had transpired on that lonely riverbank. The Pascagoula incident, as it came to be known, became a media sensation, drawing curiosity seekers and UFO enthusiasts to the small town. Yet despite the attention and the ongoing investigation, the truth remained elusive, shrouded in a veil of mystery and unanswered questions. The river held its secrets, and Hickson and Parker were left to grapple with the reality of their experience. Forever marked by the night nightmares came true. News of the Pascagoula incident spread like wildfire, fanned by the winds of speculation and fueled by the insatiable hunger of the media. Reporters from across the country descended upon the sleepy town of Pascagoula, eager to get a glimpse of the men who claimed to have encountered creatures from another world. Hickson and Parker, thrust into the spotlight, found themselves at the center of a media storm they were ill-equipped to handle. Cameras flashed, microphones were shoved in their faces, and their every word was scrutinized, analyzed, and often twisted to fit the narrative of the day. Newspapers ran sensationalized headlines, their pages filled with blurry photographs of supposed UFO sightings and artists' renditions of the alleged aliens. The Pascagoula incident became a national sensation, a topic of conversation around dinner tables and water coolers across America. As the story gained traction, public opinion became sharply divided. Skeptics scoffed at Hickson and Parker's claims, dismissing their story as a hoax, a publicity stunt, or even a case of mass hysteria. They pointed to the lack of physical evidence, the absence of independent witnesses, and the men's blue-collar backgrounds as reasons to doubt their story. Others, however, found themselves drawn to the mystery, their imaginations captivated by the possibility that we are not alone in the universe. They saw in Hickson and Parker's terror the unmistakable mark of a genuine encounter with the unknown. Support groups formed, UFO conferences were organized, and the Pascagoula incident became a rallying cry for believers, a testament to the existence of extraterrestrial life. In the years that followed, the media frenzy eventually died down, and the Pascagoula incident faded from the headlines. But for Hickson and Parker, the experience left an indelible mark, forever altering the course of their lives. They faced ridicule and disbelief from some quarters, their sanity questioned, their reputations tarnished. Yet, despite the challenges, they remained steadfast in their account, never wavering in their conviction that they had encountered something truly extraordinary on that fateful night. They endured countless interviews, submitted to polygraph tests, and even underwent hypnosis in an attempt to unlock the secrets buried deep within their subconscious. Their story, once met with skepticism and scorn, gradually gained a degree of acceptance. Their unwavering testimony a testament to the power of human experience, even in the face of the unexplainable. The Pascagoula incident, while shrouded in mystery and controversy, remains one of the most compelling and well-documented UFO encounters in history. It stands as a reminder that there are still frontiers of knowledge yet to be explored, mysteries that continue to challenge our understanding of the world and our place in the cosmos. Whether one believes Hickson and Parker's account or dismisses it as a product of their imaginations, the incident serves as a powerful reminder of the limits of human perception and the enduring allure of the unknown. The Pascagoula incident, like all great mysteries, compels us to confront the vastness of the universe and to acknowledge the possibility that we may not be alone. It is a story that continues to fascinate and intrigue, a testament to the power of belief and the enduring mystery of the unexplained. The Pascagoula incident, like a stone dropped in a still pond, continues to ripple through time, its impact felt long after the initial splash. Over the years, investigators, researchers, and armchair enthusiasts have dissected the events of that October night, searching for clues, for answers, for some tangible proof to validate the incredible claims of Hickson and Parker. Yet, the truth remains elusive, hidden somewhere in the shadows between what we can perceive and what we can only imagine. Some point to the lack of conclusive evidence, the absence of physical traces, as proof that the encounter was nothing more than a figment of the imagination, a shared delusion fueled by stress or a trick of the light. They argue that the human mind, faced with the unknown, is prone to fabricating explanations, to finding patterns where none exist. But for others, the sheer conviction of Hickson and Parker, their unwavering belief in what they experienced, speaks volumes. Their story, consistent even under intense scrutiny, resonates with a ring of truth that transcends logic and reason. These believers see in the Pascagoula incident a glimpse into a reality beyond our comprehension, a universe teeming with possibilities that challenge our understanding of life itself. The debate rages on, fueled by the very nature of the unknown. What really happened on that lonely stretch of riverbank? Was it a genuine encounter with beings from another world, a visitation from dimensions beyond our own? Or was it, as some suggest, a case of mistaken identity, a misinterpretation of natural phenomena, or even a carefully crafted hoax? The questions linger unanswered, echoing through the corridors of time. The Pascagoula incident, like so many other unexplained phenomena, forces us to confront the limitations of our knowledge, the boundaries of our understanding. It reminds us that the universe is a vast and mysterious place, filled with wonders that we are only beginning to glimpse. Perhaps in time, the answers we seek will emerge, shedding light on the events of that night. Or perhaps the Pascagoula incident will forever remain an enigma, a tantalizing mystery that fuels our imaginations and reminds us that there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in our philosophies. Whatever the truth may be, the Pascagoula incident has left an undeniable mark on our collective consciousness. It has become a part of UFO lore, a story whispered around campfires and debated in online forums. It has inspired countless books, documentaries, and fictional accounts, each offering its own interpretation, its own spin on the truth. But beyond the debates and the speculation, the Pascagoula incident stands as a testament to the enduring power of wonder, our innate human fascination with the unknown. It reminds us that even in our modern age of science and technology, there are still mysteries that defy explanation, experiences that challenge our understanding of the world and our place within it. The story of Hickson and Parker, regardless of whether it is believed or dismissed, serves as a potent reminder that there is still magic in the world, a sense of awe and wonder that can never be fully extinguished. And perhaps in the end, that is the true legacy of the Pascagoula incident, a reminder to keep looking up at the stars, to keep questioning, and to never lose our sense of childlike curiosity about the universe and all its mysteries. Disclaimer: as an Amazon and other affiliate, I earn from qualifying purchases at no additional cost to you. Want to make videos like this? Turn text into stunning videos in seconds, get free trial, and unlock your creative potential. You can create even better videos than mine. No editor is required. Check out the link in the video description below. Thank you for joining us on this journey about UFO. Please like, Comment and share the video, and please do not forget to subscribe for more videos.